What the heck happened? I got raided? Bolt? Possibly? Thank you for the raid! Holy crap, hello! Welcome in! I wasn't prepared for that. Sorry about that. I have a headache today, so I just went to get some painkillers and some coffee. But here I am. I'm ready now. I hope you're doing good today, everyone. Bolt, possibly. Thank you very much for the raid. Can I get a shout out? We'll get a shout out typed in. Hang on a second. Shout out Bolt. What were you up to today? What were you playing? All right, here we are. Captain Pilgard has funded $69 to hard load. We got to talk about hard load. What button do I press? This one. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to day one of Adventure Game about escaping a bunker, which we kind of like did a preliminary exploration of game designs that I could work on yesterday. If you want to know more about like why Tank Game is not being worked on today, I will give you a quick rundown now, but you can go watch previous episode for that. Basically, the scope outgrew the time budget is essentially what happened. I want to work on it some more, and I've still got ideas I want to see come to fruition for that game. But long term, it's a big game, and it's going to take like 9 months to do, probably. I mean, it could be anywhere between 6 and 9 months, possibly more. It could go up, it could blow out and be like a 1.5 year kind of project. So this year I don't want to commit time to big projects like that, so we're going back to a small project. We're going to go back to the drawing board, which we decided to start on an adventure game again, since I've already proven that I can knock out an adventure game, and I want to go back to that and work in that world some more anyway. We might as well start doing that now. There are more other technical focused projects that I still want to do, so after this one's done, we'll like pick up one of those technical projects. Now, not every single prototype is going to come to a point where it's like, this is a game that I want to keep working on, but some of them are, and they might still also blow out the budget of time, and therefore will have to be put on the stack for like, we'll pick those up later, which that's where the tank game is right now. I might pick it up later this year, or it might be next year. I don't know. We'll see. Good to see you, Love and Thunder. Bolt was playing some childhood nostalgia, love Stone Keep. Oh my gosh, you're playing Stone Keep? That game looks so cool. I love the box for Stone Keep. It's one of the coolest big boxes. It's kind of like shaped like a giant tombstone. It's very cool looking. Welcome in, everybody. So good to have you all here. Welcome in, Stalk for Wooder. Good to see you. Good to see you, Sonovel. Bloody Cactus, hello. Rev Brown, g'day. Tony, good to see you. Adrian, welcome in. Good to see you as well. Captain Pilcard, you freaking legend. Always a pleasure. Had holographic stuff on the box and everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'll have to try and get myself one someday. Hey, Osric, good to see you there. Welcome in. I think I saw Coburn. Did I see Coburn? I was just talking to Coburn, actually, so maybe I just imagined seeing Coburn in the chat. Welcome in. Welcome in, Foamed. Good to see you too. Hopefully if I missed your name, just at me. I apologize if I missed your name. Hello there, buddy. No one. Welcome in. Good to see you too. So what's up today? We're going to work on that, but we stumbled our way into a silly game design idea, which I'm just going to document, and that can go on the stack of like possible ideas to pick up and try and make something with. We even came up with a name for it, which is hilarious. So just a fair warning. Hi, Zizzy. Good to see you. Consider yourself noticed. Consider yourself on notice for being awesome. Okay, so here's the proposal for the game. Oh, where do I even put this in here? I guess it goes in the other games to work on. The name is Hard Load, or maybe Hard Load, 2 words. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's Hard Load. Oh wait, you can't see what I'm typing. Let me go to typing mode. Here we go. We're in typing mode now. The game is called Hard Load. It's a military sim. And is that how you spell that word? I think it is. No, it's not. It's got some other kind of magical spelling. It's got 2 C's apparently. I never write that word. I've never had the need to write that word. Humble brag. What's a polite way of saying this? There's more to this. I don't know how much I should write down. Every single word I'm typing is just making me feel more uncomfortable, but it's hilarious. It's a hilarious idea. Oh, there's somebody phoning me. Give me a second. Hello? Either their microphone wasn't working or there was nobody there. I don't know what happened. It was completely silent. Is that all the genres you want? Yeah. How do you spell melee? Melee combat involves slapping with gun barrels. and lap. No, it's not slop, slap. Barrel around corners to shoot if it's soft enough. This is terrible. This is a terrible idea. But yeah, it's a very takes itself very, very, very seriously in every aspect. So unless you play the game, it's just Hardload is just a very cool military sim. If you're a gun nut, you know, Hardload's a cool game, right? But yeah, when you play the game, the barrels, everybody's barrel starts like floppy, and the more kills you get, the harder the barrel gets, so it can be more accurate. Just like real guns. That's how real guns work, right? Why not full load? Full load's also a good name. I think hard load is better because it gets the innuendo of the barrels gaining strength. Is that how you spell barrel? Is it 1R for barrel? No. Why is it underscored like that? Oh, barrels. Yeah, I guess technically barrels. When you reload the gun, it might moan. Stiff load. Oh no. If the gun is very firm, it could shoot randomly. In fact, can you have it ready for Valentine's Day? yeah, we'll just make this happen. Al dente barrel? Oh my god. The connotations are insane. I don't think you should put gun barrels in. I got a headache and I can't laugh this much. I don't know what else. Otherwise, it's just a straight up it's a straight up military sim. Oops. Only deadly serious erection jokes, please, chat. Yeah, exactly. It also has there was another component to this, but I can't remember what it was. There was a couple other components here. Anyway, I will never make this game probably, but it's now been documented. If you want to have conversations like this, you can join me on the subscriber-only Discord chat once a month on the second Saturday of the month. Or whenever else I happen to be there. Okay. So we got past our design considerations. And we're up to game 3. Oh, by the way, game 2 is not dead. I just want to clarify. Game 2 is not dead. It's not dying. I am going to go back to it. I have fully intend to go back to it. I may reuse the engine technology for some other fun idea that I can make like a quick little thing, like a peeing camel desert crossing simulation or something like that. There are other ideas that we can use that tech for anyway, so it's definitely not going anywhere. I'm going to keep it, and we may revisit it, so yeah. Let's see. I'm going to just go with AGS because why not? We're expanding the universe. We got some new party members. So the new party member we're going with is I'm gonna even like nerdy dude. It's just a guy, computer loving guy. Let's see now. I guess I just want bullet points. Can I just have bullet points, please? That'll do, I guess. We already got Delphine, so that's done. Problems to solve. So we have to basically go right back to the drawing board. Like, what's the story here? And like last time we didn't come up with a story. The story was literally, I want a bacon sandwich was the story last time. What's the story? Well, a guy is going on an adventure. I'm going to use the term guy to just mean the character. Because, like, last time I was calling it guy up until I drew the picture of Delphine. And then it was a girl. So, you know, whatever. It's just placeholder at the moment. Have you ever tried the Unity engine called PowerQuest? Yes, I have tried Unity tool called PowerQuest. It's on my list up here, actually, somewhere. We talked about it at some point. Oh, actually, I think it's in this document. There you go. It's right there. PowerQuest came out with a 5.75 suitability rating for making an adventure game for me, based mostly on the pricing and licensing suitability. Everything else was actually pretty positive, I think. So, if it wasn't for that score, if those were 10s, it would be an 8.75. So Unity's basically hurting PowerQuest for me at the moment. I mean, we could do this exercise again, but it's going to be the same, right? Because it's still an adventure game. So if I do game 3. If I do game 3 and paste this, it's good. It's the same. Nothing's really changed. The only thing that's changed is possibly this has gone down a bit, and its fitness rating might have gone up slightly. Yeah. So, like, okay, maybe Raylib's a slightly better choice than the other choices now. That's the only thing that's really changed between choosing. And, like, frankly, complexity has gone down on using AGS, because I know how to use AGS now. And its fitness rating is probably actually a 10, but I just didn't want to give anything a 10 on the fitness rating. Because everything can be improved. Like, in fact, fitness rating might go down slightly. It might be like more like an 8.75 right now. Whoops, that's 5.75. 8.75. Because, like, it's good, but it has a lot of flaws that I would love to see fixed. Like, I was complaining about it on the not the dev chat, the voice chat today. I was like, yeah, like, it doesn't have hot loading of assets. Like, why is that not a thing yet? Like, if I draw a background and say, use this PNG for the background, it should just, when I save the PNG, just load it again immediately. I shouldn't have to go in and, like, import it and, like, bake it into the project. Bunker equals Nazis. Does it? What? Get it? No, what? Go away, Google. Stop trying to help me. I disagree, Stockwater. Preppers and bunkers. Well, that's what you should be thinking of. It's a vault or a bunker, yeah. Anyway. So game 3. Adventure game about escaping a vault / bunker. A guy is preparing to go on an adventure in the morning. Maybe he ate a nice, easy to make bacon sandwich. Now he must gather some something from the secret, is it secret like that? Lab. Basement bunker. Where he keeps journals, computers, and tools for adventuring. But through a series of hilarious and unexpected, you gotta finish typing the word unexpected, events, ends up locked in the bunker. 30 minutes late, no worries, Coburn. I haven't actually been on screen for 30 minutes. I only just got back. Like, I had to get some painkillers and make a coffee, you know, say hello to my family, remind them that I still exist. You're a houseplant stuck in a vault and people have vanished. Turns out you've got telekinesis. Ooh, that's a good plot. I like it. If your barrel stays firm for more than 4 hours, consult a doctor. Yeah. Oh, right, the Super Bowl grenades. I forgot about that. I should add that to the document as well. Yeah. I gotta scroll up so far because this document's getting huge. Super Bowl grenades that bounce funny. Oh wait, there was another thing. Attachments for the gun receiver. Like dangling brass ball bearings. Upgradable. Ball bearings is 2 words. Okay. Upgradable based on score. There we go. What's the effectiveness of coffee and painkillers? I've seen Panadol plus caffeine variants. I think it's only effective if you're suffering from caffeine withdrawal. Did you see that one Twilight Zone episode, Shelter Skelter, about dude in a bunker? I did not. I mean, I'm willing to do research and look at that. Okay, here we are. Okay, so what happens next? Like, that's this leads into, like, okay, that's the intro basically. So now what? Guy has to do something. What does he have to do? He has to solve a series of strange and confusing puzzles that defy logic in order to escape the bunker. No, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like what we're trying to do. Solve a series of fun and entertaining puzzles to open the vault door. Unfortunately, the hamster who triggered the series of events is also trapped and must be freed so that it can help recover an unreachable by human hands item to be able to progress. Hey Zargot, good to see you. Might have to deal with learning a new language, and as you go you can slowly learn words. Just an idea. There was a game years ago that I have not been able to find since. It was a Flash game that was on like ABC. I don't remember if it was Australian ABC or if it was American ABC. Where it's a puzzle game, but the progression mechanic was actually learning the language of symbols that entities within the environment would use. And you had to like basically learn to communicate to like convince them to like allow you to pass or whatever, or like to help you get through the next phase. It's a really interesting idea, and I wouldn't mind like trying to do something in that style at some point. It could be fun. Like basically like using symbolic communication as a way to make progression. It's a really cool idea. Wayback Machine could help, maybe. I've sort of stopped trying to find it. I was never really able to find it. I don't remember the name of it. I couldn't even describe it. It's all I have in my memory is like the concept is basically all that remains. Unreachable item. Oh right. By human hands to be able to progress. Let's see. Okay, so we have a hamster. There's probably like a hamster run where like there's a key that's in the hamster run, or like, you know, maybe like a computer chip or something like that that needs to be recovered in order to progress. Maybe it's a password, like it's written on a piece of paper, but it was used as like the hamster used it as bedding or something, and you have to get the hamster to go in and recover it for you. But in order to do that, you have to like drop some food in to the top of the cage where the piece of paper is that drops like the hamster's like favorite food on it or something. No, they'll probably eat it, but it has to be like, there has to be like a mechanic that you can learn outside of this context that you can then apply in this context to get the item. So I'm going to start writing some of these ideas down, but I just want to plot out like the vague sense of the story. There will be the need to tap into a wire in the wall that will allow the player to jack in and hack the door, ultimately opening it. But before this can be done, we need to solve basically the entire game up to this point. To find the right place to cut the wall, the player will need to reconstruct a metal detector and use it on the wall to find the wire. Once jacked in, the player will need to solve a dumb logic puzzle on the computer to crack the lock, and that'll be the final puzzle. That'll open the door. You can then click on the door to leave, and things will happen from there. So like, that's a rough outline. It's really rough. It's bad English, and it's just basically stream of consciousness typing, but it's near enough. We'd need a Flash Player plugin. There is a Flash library that you can download, which I have on my computer, but I did sort of briefly search it, and I couldn't find anything related to what I was thinking about. So it's very annoying, because like I don't even have like search terms to use. Yeah, we're doing an adventure game today, Smiling Big. We're going to start working on the new adventure game. Tank Game's retired for it's on some comment in another venue while we work on a different game. So we're using AGS. The goal for this project is to expand the universe for Delphine and other characters. Maybe we'll come up with a better name for that universe, but for now it's just going to be called the Delphine universe. Maybe this guy will have a name. We'll be able to call it the Delphine and this guy universe. Computer loving guy, you know, enjoys computers and stuff like that, hacking puzzles, has a pet hamster. Problem to solve, escape the vault. Yeah, so we have there's a prepper dad I guess, is the story. Maybe he's an absent father, and that's why the kid has overtaken the basement / vault. Persons involved in hacking. This stuff is now redundant information. Got locked in accidentally because of funny chain reaction involving Pep Hamster. Yeah, collect parts from metal detector, find a wire in the wall, save trapped hamster before you leave for quest. So now we have a reason to save the hamster as well, and the hamster will like remain in our inventory as we leave on our quest. So will the metal detector. So this character will start in the ultimate sequel to this trilogy with a hamster and a metal detector probably, and maybe something else. You never know. Delphine will start that quest with nothing apparently. Maybe I'll go back and work on the Delphine story a little bit more, and we'll add some more fun stuff. He's obviously her husband. Well, they're children. They're aged between 9 and 19. I don't know how old they are, but they're not husband material yet. I think we're at a point now where I can start, I've conceptualized a little bit. Now it's time to like start wrapping our head around like, well, the way that the sandwich game worked, for example, was like I did the puzzle design and hung everything else off of that. And I think that worked pretty well in terms of like managing the flow of the game. And also controlling, like, determining, like, what screens I would need and, like, why I would need them. I think one of the things that failed on that was the forest screen was pretty useless. It didn't have much going on. It just existed, literally, just so you had somewhere to get the catnip that wasn't an existing screen, which makes sense. But I could have easily cut that scene out and just had, like, the catnip be in the kitchen. But we'll use the same approach here. I do want to do more polished assets this time. Specifically thinking about the backgrounds, I want to improve the background art and bring it to another level. And that for me just means cleaning up of some of the edges and shapes that you can see, making sure that things like fit into the perspective.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Somewhat. Maybe I'll like a sausage. I ate a nice sandwich, so I'm good for now. But maybe later I'll get a sausage. So. Goals for... Oh, I don't want this highlighted anymore. Please cease highlighting. Goals for this game.
It would have been pretty cool to drug the cat.
It would have been pretty cool to drug the cat. Improve background, asset, pipeline, and polish. Improve inventory, art. I don't know if, like, maybe the dialogue needs to come after, like, focus on puzzle mechanics first. Use bad dialogue or no dialogue during progression. During development, allowing / forcing us to focus more on the dialogue in a dedicated phase. More look descriptions, more jokes, more clues to player for solutions via looking / interacting. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, freaking legend. I appreciate it. Thank you. A producer just followed. Everybody's a producer in the chat. Everybody who joins the channel is a producer. I can't credit every producer, unfortunately, but you know, maybe one day when I add if I ever monetize this channel, I'll be able to add a channel point redeem to have your name in the credits. It'll be expensive, but it'll be worth it. I need a sandwich now. I have leftovers from last night. I made a sandwich burger mode. Oh, awesome. Sandwiches in burger mode is good. The sandwich goal kept it focused. It really did. It was very helpful. Maybe at the end, Delphine will walk up to him. Maybe. Do you play the games that viewers suggest you? Not on this channel, but if you join my main channel, yes, I do occasionally do that. Not all the time though. Even when people, like, some people have given me games and then it's taken me like a year or two to play them, before, like a year before I get around to playing it. Yeah, I never make promises. I try to never promise that I'll play a game, because I have I just do whatever I can. I just do whatever my brain is wanting me to do most of the time. Like, I do try and maintain a schedule. I do pretty good at that in terms of like what games I play. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, it's time to play cinematic platformers, which I did yesterday. This week I was thinking about making a cinematic platformer, and I was like, I need to play more of them so I can understand them better. So I did put down some notes on a cinematic platformer, which I considered making for this game, for this phase, but I didn't do that. But here's like the very, very rough outline. This could be basically any cinematic platform. There's not much to say here. But yeah, obviously even just looking at like what's here, there's a hell of a lot of production on assets that's required. So it's just like, yeah, I'll probably save that for later. The survival adventure was also an interesting one that I definitely want to work on this at some point. I want to work on both of these this year, like doing a mini version of both of those this year, so we'll get there. Don't need to have us in the game for ideas, but ideas are plentiful. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, good to see you, dude. How you doing today? Welcome. I hope you're getting enough sleep, being on your night shift and stuff. Goals for this game, let's see: improve background and asset pipeline and polish, improve art inventory art, focus on puzzle mechanics first, use bad dialogue or no dialogue during development, allow/forcing us to focus more on dialogue in the dedicated phase, more look descriptions, more jokes, more clues. But yeah, this is good information. I like it. I think I would like music. Music/atmospheric sounds for each scene. Because like the last game lacked that. That was like the biggest lack it had. Also maybe generic sound effects for typical interactions, and maybe specific sound effects for certain interactions, typing, keyboard, turning on machine, etc. So like the sandwich game had no sound for when you were cooking. Like there was no sizzling sound for the bacon cooking, which is like, come on, I should have done. I would have liked to have done that. There's like a bunch of stuff I didn't do. I'm allowing myself more time budget for this game. That game was like a very tight time budget game. This one I'm going to allow more time, but it's going to be actually spread out over more time too. Because the first week of that game I wasn't working day job stuff because I had time off for a break, which I just used to make myself work extra hard. And yeah, so this in terms of calendar will be longer, but also the amount of hours I put into the game will probably be longer as well. Last game, for reference, was a 50-hour game, approximately 50 hours. There was a lot of like talking and other stuff that went on, so you could probably compress that timeline down to say 40 hours pretty comfortably. But yeah, it was a big production. 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to produce the game on the calendar. It was actually 15 days total, 15 streams total, I think it was, to get it launched. We launched it on the 16th and we started on the 2nd, and we did one every single day. So yeah, that all adds up. Go work in 12 hours again, 12-hour shift. Oh my gosh. Do you get time to actually like relax and rest? Sounds like a hard time. By the way, Games, the dev, I do, like, if you do have a game to suggest, feel free to drop it a suggestion in my Discord, or come and show up at my other channel, and I can shout out the other channel. If you want to drop by there and let us know about your game or something like that, that's also fine. Okay. Is that enough goals for this game to improve? If there's nothing to do, I just watch Twitch or cuddle with cats. Oh, that's awesome then. Nice. Why not both? I think those are the main things that I want to like improve for this. So it's basically just pushing the production polish a little further and trying a little bit of a different methodology for this part in particular. I felt like the descriptions and stuff like that, like if I go and play the sandwich game now, you notice there's things missing, right? And especially like, just like, I mean, I'll load it up real quick. I never figured out why this mouse started appearing on this scene. It shouldn't. As far as I can tell, it shouldn't have. There's obviously something weird going on with it. So, like, if you right-click on, like, stuff, it should tell you, like, a description like this. Like, I bought this cat when I saw one in an old movie I liked. Like, that's cool. Right-click on the bread. Fresh bread. That's good description. Right-click on coffee. Looks all right. What? Okay, that's weird. Right-click on that. It's just some kitchen-y stuff. Okay, right-click on the fridge. I see nothing special about it. Right-click on the door. I see nothing special about it. Right-click on the coffee maker. Okay, it's got a description, right? I got this off the side of the road. It works so well. Who throws something like this out? I really need a drink of coffee. Right-click on the coffee grinder. I see nothing special about it. Like, right-click on the frying pan. I got this frying pan on an adventure. It was really cool. So, oh, the oven. I see nothing special about it. The look descriptions in this game, just like, there's so many that just say that. Or like, you know, looks alright. Like, I don't even know. Like, they're just default descriptions, and I just left them in. So I really should have gone through and done a second pass on the dialogue just to make sure everything had a description that needed it. Like, the oven, when I originally added the oven, I had a little story about, like, a family of mice that live in the oven that I'd put in there. So, I think that definitely needs to be stepped up. Another thing that I would say is, like, the perspective stuff that I did on this scene. This is the first one I did, and I did spend a fair bit of time on this trying to get it to a point where I was, like, happy with it. And I am happy with it, but, like, I wanted to redo the floor tiles to make them smaller because I felt like they looked too large for this scene. And it makes Delphine look especially small when she's standing on these giant tiles. It just makes everything feel like not just out of perspective, but like out of scale as well. Just the floor tiles. Like, that's just one little thing I would change. Another thing I would change is probably, like, I was still trying to figure out like the style of Day of the Tentacle when I did this. And there's some things I'd probably like try and respect a little bit more now. Like, the line on this corner of the cabinet probably shouldn't be on this angle. It should probably be more like an angle that's, this may be a bit exaggerated, but something that comes down on that angle more, like to the right, down to the right. Because, like, it's about exaggeration of certain things, and as things get taller in Day of the Tentacle, they tend to get wider at the top for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure, like, it just looks more correct that way. I would have spent the time to redraw the coffee machine if I was very conscious of the time budget I'd given myself. So I was like, I've drawn this, I don't have time to redraw. I tried to shift it around with some like perspective and warp sort of functions in the editor, but I was like, you know, whatever, like that's what it is. For the most part, everything else in the scene's pretty decent looking, I think, like in terms of the objects. I'm pretty happy with the fridge, although I feel like it's tilted to the left a bit. I'd probably like, it'd be nice if it was more rotated to the right to fix it up as well. The door frames, I think I was still like learning about the style when I did the door frames, and I probably would change the way I did them now. And I'd probably try and also get a little bit more comfortable with like things being like the top of the fridge is out of frame, like maybe getting a little bit more comfortable with like things being cropped even more. Like the door frames could have been cropped even more, for example. So like the doors never really felt tall enough to me. Like there's no way like that door is tall enough when it's next to this fridge. It just doesn't look right. The fridge is ginormous or the door is extremely small. Things like that. So it's okay. Like none of these are like major flaws. They're just like things to be aware of, I guess. Things that I think about when I look at the artwork in this game. Coming away from just like shapes and perspectives and sizes and stuff like that, there's also just like general polish in terms of like art production. Like if you look at this scene and you look at the main inspiration scene for this in Day of the Tentacle, which I'll pull up again. I guess I can put music back on in the background too, because it gets a little bit quiet if I don't have some music on in the background. All right. So it's the foyer that you start. Basically, the gameplay starts in. Hi, Sunshine. Everybody, if you don't know Stuff by Sunshine on Twitch, go introduce yourself to Stuff by Sunshine. She's a fantastic illustrator, and she streams retro games as well. A really nice person. You should definitely go check out her channel. Here it is. This is the foyer scene. So this is in the remaster. I would like to see the pixel art version, actually. I would like to see the pixel art version that's higher resolution. If I could, that would be nice. There we go. I'll just zoom in on this with Chrome's zoom tool. But yeah, so like what's going on in here? So walls actually have two tones on some of them, but one of them doesn't. The shadows, like if you think about where these shadows are coming from, this is pretty clearly like a stage spotlight sort of concept of like lighting. Like these don't make sense in the context of the world, right? These two do. These have in-camera purpose, and like the light cast on the ceiling and the light cast on the wall. These make sense. I'm just coming back to read the chat for a second. Seems like they go in hand. Yeah, watching Twitch and cuddling cats. I agree. A hefty plate of improvements. It is a hefty plate, but you know, I don't want to spend the year just making the same quality. I do want to get some improvements. I might not hit all of those improvements, but if I can go through and check like half of them or a quarter of them, I'll still be happy that I made some progress. Mr. Old Player, hello, good to see you. Might be able to use variable in dialogue, be like, oh, that's just the item. Yeah, you can. I did stuff like that. It's totally possible. It's just spending the time to do it, Zarga, is the main thing. I didn't spend the time doing it. Yeah. Cool. Punch higher, exactly. Yeah, keep on working on progression. So one of the other things that you'll notice in this scene, and I used this doorway as one I was looking at. I was actually looking at both of these doorways when I did the kitchen doorways, and they have these like curved feature, which I did try and replicate, but I also wanted to have like more straight edges, which I felt like they used. Like every single door, no single doorway in this is correct, right? There's nothing that's like on the right angle. And this one, like, it goes up and then it goes in and then up again, if I remember correctly. It's like got that a bit more of an odd angle on it than even like these ones have. But one thing, if you notice it, like just like the way that light and dark works in this scene, is like the front facing edge of the door frame is pretty much consistent on all of them. Like I don't even know, I think if you used a color picker, they'd probably be about the same on most of those. But each of the shadows on the edge, they don't shadow using the color of the door frame. They shadow using the color of the wall that they're on, right? So I think I did that in here, but not very effectively. You can't really see it. I remember trying to do that, But one thing I did do, like here, the door frames are extremely thick. This door frame is stupidly thick. It shouldn't be that thick. This one's not too bad, but the color I chose was a shadow of this instead of a shadow of that color, if that makes sense. The door color should be in the shadow color. I should like use this orange color here as the shadow instead of that grayish beige color. You know, just using these observations here, right? So like the door frame is shadowed using this beige sort of tone shadow color. And on the outside of the door frame is the darker orange shadow, which comes from here. The other thing is like just generally having more interesting lighting. This is much more moody looking with this lighting than it would be without it, right? And you notice like obviously there's not much shadowing going on here. There's a little bit of shadow under the cabinets. The other thing is like things are more saturated over here. Like these, even though they're shadowed, they're more saturated. Whereas I've gone for a potentially more realistic idea of like not just going darker, but also like losing some of the saturation in the shadows. I tried to correct that, especially when I was doing the shadows for like this stuff. But yeah, it's definitely definitely something I would like to apply better is the shadow and light. So like just looking at this, like this wall could be orange, but there's no justification for that transition to orange because the fridge is too big. So I'd have to make the fridge a little bit smaller. Then you could see that transition from blue to orange on this side. Maybe have a strip of orange across this wall would be interesting as well. And then throwing in some of those shadows that don't need to be justified by the environment, but just having some more shadows in there. At the moment, there's just like a generic shadow coming from somewhere off to the side, and it's like casting these shadows, and that's really it. Whereas that's like a far more interesting lighting setup in this scene. It does have like this cactus shadow, and it does really seem like there's a spotlight or two spotlights off, like up in the, I guess, like up out over here, so, like coming from this direction, shining into the room. It really feels like that, even though they're not justified by anything in the environment. Whereas these lights here are obviously well justified. So that's something that would have been like worthwhile to add. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I appreciate the follow. Welcome. Have some thoughts on the hotspot descriptions, but I think might get long in the tooth for Twitch, so I'll put it in the Discord. That's great. Yeah, if you want to put some advice or ideas, that's totally welcome. The convention welcome sign is like something like that just adds something to this scene, and I wanted more things to add stuff to the scene. Like look, in here we've got like a picture frame on the wall, generic like news broadcaster looking person. I don't know who that is. There's just a rules on the door that you like. I don't know if in game you can read this sign or not, but it's just there. There's just like a lot of like extra details. An out of order phone that turns out it's part of a puzzle, but like things that you just expect to see on a wall in a house, they've got them in here. Whereas I kept telling myself I'll add more stuff in the end. I added this cat clock, and that's all I really had time for. It would have been nice to see like, you know, a picture here, maybe like a calendar on the wall somewhere. And that just adds more things for the player to interact with, and like, oh, I look at the calendar and it's like, oh, it's Dad's birthday next month, or like, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to have any context, but sometimes you can have context like that. And it just makes the world feel a little bit more real as well. Shadow on the floor would have been cool. A bit more shadowing on the floor. Like I said, shadowing on the wall. I think I've kind of critiqued this scene enough. This was the first one that I did. I think the best scene I might have done might have been the chicken coop or the basement. They're both pretty okay. I think the basement has some major issues that I was like unhappy with, but I was like, whatever, I've got to finish the game. So I didn't go any further with that. But yeah, the chicken coop looked really nice, I thought, in the end. I can bring up the assets. I just realized I don't need to have the game running to look at stuff. I needed the game to look at the... where did I put the game, by the way? I seem to have... Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah, we needed to go in there to look at the descriptions when you right-click on stuff, but that was all. If I go to room assets and go to... what is it? Coop? So I guess this BMP is the final, which obviously I'm going to need to zoom in on. Yeah, you lose some of that pixelated quality, but like this is a nice scene in the end, and it was like fairly bare bones for most of the production. There's still things I didn't do that I wanted to do. I did do a bit more of the grass texturing on this that I wanted to do. And there was a time in Backyard, actually, that I did have more textured grass. I don't know if I overwrote that, though. I may not have. Let's see. This is like a fairly early version of the background with still like all of the line work in it. And yeah, here's like a thing. I had like chickens sign and I took that out. That ended up not in the final version. And some people got lost and they couldn't find the chicken coop because the hotspot to go to the chicken coop is actually like a tiny little rectangle down here, basically. Here was like my first pass at adding some texture to the grass. And overwhelmingly people said, don't texture the grass. So I decided I wouldn't do that. I still feel like texturing the grass would be good, just maybe not in that way. More shadow, more light and shadow would be good. The texturing on the path, I was intending to do a cobblestone on the path. I never did that. I eventually added the piles of dirt. Nobody seemed to complain about the texturing on the dirt because I think that texturing style works better for dirt. Nobody ever... Is MZizzy still here? I don't know if MZizzy's still here or Sonneveld or anyone, but like... Did anybody ever notice this? And nobody commented on that. Ever. I haven't received a single comment about this. Thank you, Adrian. Yes. That was literally the reference I was trying to make. Yeah, I was surprised that nobody commented. I thought more people would make a comment about that. It took me a while to discover this chicken screen even existed. Yeah, so you're one of the people who struggled to find the chicken screen. And that's my bad. Because like I literally intended to signpost it with an actual signpost. It was supposed to be a freaking signpost and I just was like, I don't need that. People will find it. Love the Strong Bad games. I've only played a little bit of them. I haven't actually played through. You had a giggle when you saw it, Adrian. Excellent. Thank you. That makes it all worthwhile. Okay, what's this one? What's this shot? Oh, this is an early screenshot that I was like, yeah. I shared this somewhere. But yeah, like there's the gas hose object image and the no gas hose object image, which is unnecessary, I think. Oh, that's the original. That's the original with the full line art version. There's the line art version. That's how the game looked for a while I was working on puzzle implementation. But we're gonna go back to this. We're gonna go back to like line art crap. It's gonna be great. I suppose since we're looking at stuff, like we could look at the basement. How the basement sort of progressed. So like the layout for the basement was always pretty much what it is as well. First initial thing. So the stairs I never got how I wanted. I literally never did get the stairs to look how I wanted them to look. And I ended up at one point like adding more stairs, but I just probably needed to repaint the whole set of stairs, but I just didn't want to for whatever reason, and I ended up just adding more stairs in a weird way. And this looks to me kind of worse actually than it was. We added the save and raid poster obviously, which was I think that was a very worthwhile addition. I'd intended to do that since early. I wanted to have a reference to save and raid in the game, so it was good to have that. Adding all this stuff on the table was a really good thing because it gave people something else to look at. It wasn't just, the solution wasn't just sitting on the table the whole time. When it was empty table, it's like there's one tool in the entire basement that you can get. So it doesn't, it makes it too easy. So this was a good addition. Oh, there's a higher resolution screenshot of it too. And there's the object that you can pick up off the table, obviously. Yeah. Going back to the coop was like one that saw a lot of improvement over time. I don't think it really comes through in the saved screens that I kept. But like, this is what it looked like for a long time. Very blank. There's not much going on in the background. The background doesn't really quite feel like it's tied in with the foreground. It feels like it needs something. The fence was like worth. I'm glad I did the fence the way I did. It was a little time consuming, but worthwhile. But yeah, unfortunately, I think it just goes straight from that to this. So you don't really get to see like the progression that kind of went through as I was working on this stuff. But yeah, adding the tree and the rock. The rock looks horrible, by the way. I hate the rock, but it's fine. I think it works out. It's okay. But I just wanted like to balance the image a bit more. It felt like the chicken coop was just way too prominent. Adding the background, bushy artwork, whatever you call this stuff, just to tie the foreground back into the background there helped a lot. And adding the cloud line. I was just watching. I think I just went back and watched the intro to Day of the Tentacle. And I saw their cloud line. I was like, it seems like something I should add, something like that. And so I just like really, really crappily emulated that. But I think it works for the style of the artwork that we have. Next time I don't know if I'll do that style again, but I think it worked out well in this case. Again, the paths never really looked finished to me, and this scene could use a lot more light. Like light and dark and stuff like that. And again, I've gone with like muted tones instead of darker, similar saturation. Like basically, this is more like a desaturated version of this color than it is a darker, highly saturated version of the color. And that's something that I need to, if I'm going to adopt that style a bit better, I would do differently. Yeah. I've waffled on enough. Hello, Duke Donut. It's good to see you. 2 recent Strongback games were delightful. So was the Halloween dungeon from like 2021. I haven't played any of the recent stuff. Like, yeah, I really need to go through and play them. It all definitely evokes that art style while still being your own, which is pretty damn great. That's awesome, Bolt. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm going to drink a little bit more coffee, and then we'll get back to actually doing game design and not just talking about how I want to improve things. Yeah, actually, let's go back to that list of improvements. Improve background art, improve inventory art. That shouldn't be too hard because all the inventory art was placeholder art, and I just decided to keep it because placeholder art was good enough. I need to force myself to do, because I was like, oh, it's good enough was like where I was at when I released the game. I was like, it was on my list. Like if you go back and look at game 1 days, which is up here, review and update inventory art on day 15. Review and update inventory art day 14. Polish the entire freaking art set. It's not checked because that also included the assets for the inventory, day 13. Yeah, okay, so like for the last, yeah, so 3 days, I had that on my to-do list and I never did it. Unfortunate. Yeah, and also like polish sounds and add basic sound effects. That was like something I wanted to do, and I never really did. So this is just addressing the things that I wanted to do but didn't do, really. Review and update, add more gags, jokes. Yeah, that was something I would like to do. Sound effects, music. We ended up adding some music to the game, and I'm happy that it's got like intro music and outro music. It would have been cool to have more ambient or music throughout the game. I think it's definitely worthwhile adding in the next release. To do update puzzle dependency graph, never did that. Bonus voice lines, music, horse armor DLC, obviously good joke, hilarious joke. What I'd still fix if I spent the time: chicken coop background and backyard art, make hotspot bigger. I don't know. Oh, chicken coop background in backyard. Yeah, this is basically like making the hotspot bigger and like adding more details to indicate that the chicken coop exists in there. So that's addressing the thing that I was just talking about with people couldn't find it. Sound effects, voice acting, forest room, fixed catnip image. Yeah, that definitely needs some work. House lines in background. Yeah, make the house like look a bit more correct. I was pretty lazy when I did the forest room, honestly, and I did go back and do an upgrade pass on it, but it never really came to the level that it needed to come to. Bit more details, maybe. Yeah, it's just a really boring room. It's like, and I added some stuff in there just because I was like, it's so empty. It needs something to look at and laugh at or something, right? So I ended up adding, where's Forest? I ended up adding pretty late some stuff. So like we started with this. And we had basically, this was it for like a very long time. This was basically all I had. And then I added the kumquats and the paint bucket. And it's just another reference to Day of the Tentacle. Yeah, and that's just the high-res early screenshot, so. Anyway, music ambient for every room. So it's literally, most of the stuff that I've written down in my improvements list is just stuff that I referenced in the last game. So this is just addressing those. That's enough improvements. I think we just need to like work out, maybe I just start working on the puzzle dependency graph. We know what we need to do. We're gonna need to do some storyboarding for the intro as well, and we're gonna need to do some storyboarding for the outro, and we're gonna need to sketch out like what the rooms will look like once we know what rooms we want. One thing I would like to have in this is one room that scrolls. Would be nice. Because I didn't have a single room that scrolled in the last game, and the background could have been one of those rooms. I could have made the coop and the backyard be one screen that scrolls. But yeah, I want to have a room that scrolls, basically because I just want to see how that goes, and I also want to make sure that when I do that it's always well signposted that it can scroll. Because like that's one of the things that caught me out in numerous games. Sam & Max Hit the Road, Monkey Island 2, Simon the Sorcerer 2, probably numerous others. I constantly get caught out by the fact that a room can scroll and I don't realize it. It's frustrating when that happens. So I want to make sure it's, if I do want to try and do it, but I also want to try and do it so it's well signposted. Holy crap. Marketing poster that is extra wide says this poster can scroll. Good idea. Dragoon Zero, welcome in. Ruin Pixels, welcome in. Dr. CDCS, welcome in. It's great to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you very much for the raid. Completely unnecessary raid, but a very welcome one. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hesh, Hellish Valentine, good to see you. Shout outs to Hesh, everyone. Old School Jay, good to see you, dude. How you going? Who could have ever foreseen this turn of events? Indeed, indeed. I had Doc on my screen while I was doing the subscriber chat this morning, playing the racing game that's going to get cancelled. So it's going to get deleted soon. We've come to give our support for the new game. You're legendary. Thank you. So kind of you. Thank you. That's very, very kind. It's good to see you too, Hash. Always a pleasure. Rue in Pixels. Good to see ya. Old School J. Captain Pilcard. Rue. Dragoon Zero. Thank you for shouting out Doc as well. I appreciate that. I don't have a cool bot on this channel. It's just me and the awesome people who hang out here. So I have anonymous follows. If you want to drop a follow, the alert will go off, but you don't get called out for following. Weird message. So, well, I'll give you a quick intro on what we're doing. I've just been going through talking about like what I want to improve for this game. So these are all just based on like things I've had in my mind about the previous game, the previous adventure game that I did, which is the Sandwich game. And we were just looking at some screenshots from that game, like some of the background art I had done. And like I was just pointing out some of the like flaws and places where I can improve. One of the big things I need to do is like work on, not the GUI, the inventory. So all of the inventory art was placeholder that I just
Daddy,
scribbled.
would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Thank you. Yes, I'll take some sausages, Roo. I literally just scribbled this stuff in MS Paint, and I was like, there's no way I'll let this ship. And then I shipped it. So my lesson that I learned, one of my major lessons that I learned is don't draw anything that looks like a picture. I'm going to use words for the placeholder art. There's not going to be a picture in there. Like if I need a magnifying glass picture, it's just going to be a square that says magnifying glass. It's not going to have anything that looks like a magnifying glass in it because I know that I'll ship it. If it has the word, I can't ship it. I have to go in and do the art, and I can leave that until later because words are good enough to describe like what the thing is. So yeah, that's a big point of improvement for me. Just improving the background assets and stuff, obviously, mechanics, not having dialogue built in, so I can come back and do a pass to add dialogue, to add dialogue and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're working on an adventure game again. That's what we're doing. That's what we've decided to move on to an adventure game. The other candidates was a cinematic platformer and a survival adventure. I don't want to use the word survival horror because I don't want to invoke Resident Evil 2, or Resident Evil, which I have not played. I'm specifically talking about Timegate, Knight's Chase, and the first 3 Alone in the Dark games. That's the kind of feeling that I want to evoke with this minigame when I get to it. So that'll be later on. I had a really good chat with Duke Donuts as well. It was fun. Ran out of time, but yeah. I'm going to do this one in AGS again, Old School J. Yeah, I chose AGS again. The third, really? Yeah, it's the third. This is the third game. So I did the tank game, but I didn't ship the tank game. We'll get there. Doing. Yeah, exactly, Duke. But yeah, game 1. I don't know. I think that's it. I think it's time to just jump in. We're going to use Figma again for our diagram. Yeah, the third Alone in the Dark, indeed. Oh, right. No, third Alone in the Dark as inspiration. Yeah, I think it's still visually, it fits the bill. Visually. Yep, that's the one. But yeah, visually, like, this really fits the bill, right? Look, it's really interesting looking. Actually, this is probably one of the worst screens I could have clicked on because I'm seeing a lot of things I'm like, I probably wouldn't do it that way. But for the most part, it has some really good looking artwork. Like, look at this. This is great looking. Fantastic looking backgrounds. Yeah, I think like my main touchstone is Knight's Chase, which is the last game that they made on the engine. Yeah. It's got really striking visuals in this game. I really like the way this game looks. So I definitely want to do something in this style. There you go. That's a better image. Playing Alone in the Dark inspired game. Planning. You're playing. My plan is to make something Alone in the Dark inspired. Yes. You'd play it for sure. Can't wait. Can't watch any of this then. Well, I'm not making that now. I'm just talking about it. I need to get that crappy game sound effect and use it, Ash. Oh no, you're dead. Figure out some way to add killer gnomes. Killer gnomes could be an interesting idea, and it might fit the bill for what I'm planning for this inspired game. And a game engine like AGS would allow you to do stuff in 3D like Knight's Chase. No, I don't think so. I would consider a custom engine, or I would use Godot or Unity, I think, to do that. So Mike, when will you make the ultimate adventure game design a reality? Never. That's your responsibility. It's your brainchild. You need to take responsibility for that. Although, Duke, in today's subscriber call, we did come up with a game design. I have to take most of the responsibility for the core idea for this. I had to document it at the start of the stream today. Here it is. It's a military sim called Hardload. Where you configure your loadout, like choosing different weapons and stuff like that. You know, it's like, you know, you got to breach different bases and stuff like that and fight the enemies. But yeah, you're unfortunately your gun barrels are flaccid, and the more people you kill, the harder the barrel gets. Time for bed there, Hesh. Have a good sleep, Hesh. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thanks for joining that raid as well. Half-Life 2 Episode 1 achievement, or whatever it was, carrying a gnome. Oh yeah, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, I think it was. Yeah, the gnome through the entire game. I don't think I ever got that achievement. I think I did try once and I kind of gave up. Yeah, you just read this. You can read this feature list for Hardload. It's pretty bad. Yeah, you can attachments for the receiver that like has dangling brass ball bearings on it as well, and you can upgrade those to different materials. You know, like steel, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, uranium, whatever. Do one of those annoying ones and never triggered either the gnome or the one where you can't fire a gun. Oh, you actually did one, but you didn't get the achievement? That sucks. That's the worst. So anyway, we're making an adventure game. So I gotta jump into Figma and create a new project in Figma, I think. So this was the puzzle design for the sandwich game. And it's a little bit inaccurate. It doesn't have all of the sub puzzles in there that we ended up with. Like, I don't think this mentions sausages. You drug the cat, but you just use catnip to drug the cat. So we added a whole sausage subplot to the catnip situation. I think there was maybe a couple other minor changes to the puzzle flow as well. I don't remember why we're laughing at NecroKeys for this. NecroKeys probably said something funny at this point in time. Oh, stream milk. I get it. Stream milk, yes. It took me a minute. Hey, Toasty. I had a thought earlier about 2D game where you drive a forklift sometimes. That sounds like a good time. You should definitely try and do something like that. A physical simulation of forklift driving in 2D. That could be a good time. Especially if the forklift is piloted by a giraffe. Okay. I guess there's nothing for it except for just like starting to type in the things, right? So this just says start in the kitchen. That's one thing about Ron Gilbert's article about puzzle dependency charts is like it always just starts from like something is already happening, right? Like, okay, you want to unlock the basement door. You have to find a key behind a plant. You also have to find an oil can and oil the hinges. Before you can do any of this, you have to climb in the window. Before you can climb in the window, you have to break the window. How do you break the window? Well, you have to find something to break the window with. And that will lead into, like, you know, obviously there's, like, you can work backwards from there, right? So I guess my ultimate... I'm going to start from the back and work my way forward, if that makes sense. I'm going to start from the end and work my way toward the start. I think the game theme would be higher than giraffes, redacted. Get a little nervous and accidentally wet your plants. Nice. Oh man. Good to see Hangman's Moose as well. All right, so yeah, we'll go through and do a puzzle dependency graph / chart, starting from the end, and I'm gonna use Figma, and I'm gonna just do it in here, I guess. I guess I just click this and do that, and then type exit the vault. Do I need to, like, how did I make this one large? Did I use huge? I must have used huge. Exit the vault. There we go. How do you exit the vault? Well, let's just refresh our memory on, like, the process here. We need to solve a dumb logic puzzle to crack the lock. Okay. We may need to design a dumb logic puzzle then. Solve logic puzzle on computer. I can definitely type sometimes. Is there a way to make this, like, rap?
I can't see!
What was that? Exit the vault, yes. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. It's a reference to Fallout, which I was playing when I said I can't see. Yes, indeed. You extend the vault extractor arm, lock it into the door, pull the door into its track, then activate the servo to roll the vault door out of the way. Yes. Except in this case, I don't think it's that kind of vault. This is just like basically an over-engineered basement door. That's only a Fallout vault, though. Yeah, this is not a Vault-Tec vault. This is just a regular vault. Okay. I'm going to just put a door opens thing here. This is not an action. It's just like something that will happen as a result of solving the logic puzzle. Okay. So we have our we have the beginnings of our puzzle dependency graph already. Let's start connecting these pieces. What? Delete. Okay, I guess that'll do. I don't know why it's coming out the top of them. Shouldn't it have handles on the sides? Whatever. Continuing this thought process, how do we gain access to the logic puzzle on the door? We need to connect computer with cable to the exposed wire in the wall. Okay. Is there a power switch for the wiring, or is it behind a panel I need a tool for? There is, if I keep going, you'll see, it's a Fractal Vault, or just keeps big box games safe. Indeed. So the plot that we came up with, like this is the rough outline of the plot. I'm just working backwards along that. So the player has to jack into a wire. To find the right place to cut the wall, the player will need to reconstruct a metal detector and use it on the wall to find the wire. So we have to find the wire with the metal detector. So, cut wall with, I don't know, lawnmower blade, maybe? Lawnmower blade, even better. Alright. Detect wire in wall using metal detector frequency. Thank you for the follow. Okay. Put the metal detector parts together. And we'll just list off some parts. Handle, disc, I don't know what the parts of a metal detector are called, but we'll call it like the sensor module. There you go. That'll do. Oh, that's incorrect. There you go. So we'll have 3 parts. Oh, and battery. You know what? The battery goes after it's constructed. Put battery in metal detector. Okay, whoops. Didn't mean to add an extra thing. Alright, it's coming together. Coil and transformer. Yeah, okay, cool. That'll do. Remember a convoluted face sliding puzzle and a computer chip puzzle? Yeah, I don't want to do anything like that. The wall is just drywall. Yeah, I think so. But it's going to have like a lot of dangerous wires behind the wall, and you have to detect the one with the right frequency to cut. Because if you cut the wrong one, you'll get a zap. You won't die, but you'll get a zap. Yeah. Metal detector is a pair of metal coils with frequency pulse through both when metal is near. It interferes with the EM patterns of the pulses, and you can hear it on audio output. Excellent. This is a fictional detector, and it's used to detect wires in the wall. Because this is an adventure game. And it will output a certain frequency for each of the wires based on like what the wire is for. So you're looking for like the one that... So there'll be a book that will be a clue to this. It's not necessary to read the book, but if you read the book, you'll learn about the frequency. So read book that lists live wire frequencies. Let's see, like power, 110 volt is like 60 hertz. I don't know. And data equals 14 kHz. I don't know. And alarm system equals 8 kHz. And what other kind of wiring could there be? Cordless phone. That's good because it's cordless. Cordless phone. 800 megahertz. Okay, good. 69 kilohertz needs some love. That's a good call, Captain Purecard. That can be security cam. 69 kilohertz. I don't know what else. Like, just like we put some other I'm trying to think of something funny or like a reference I can put in. SCU multi meter equals. What year did Maniac Mansion come out? 1987. There you go. There you go. We got some references as well. We can put some references in the book. Obviously, we want to highlight this one. I don't know if I can easily highlight a word. I'll bold that one. Oh, I can change the color. Oh, it's the whole thing. Okay. So, like, technically you don't need to read this, but this will give you the information for detecting the correct frequency. So obviously you need to get the book. So, like, we'll have something that feeds into this to get the book. We have something that feeds into this to get... We have to have 3 things at least going into this. So we're going to start branching out there. There's also, I think there was some other branches here. We need to get the mower blade. What? Go in the top. There we go. Get mower blade. I don't know why there's a lawnmower blade. We might change what that is. For now, it's a lawnmower blade, though. Connect computer with cable, exposed wire in the wall. So we need to have a cable as well. Special. Get special data cable, or data splicing cable. It's a special data splicing cable for splicing data. We also need access to the computer. Gain access to the computer terminal. So these are going to balloon out, like these 3 will balloon out into other things, and these things that are unconnected will also balloon out into other stuff. The size of this game will probably be bigger than the first game as well. So yeah, it's already like getting pretty big. There's a lot of steps here, and there's a lot of we've got a lot of inventory assets that have been defined by the descriptions that we landed on so far. Computer password puzzle, yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. I think like obviously like something will be disconnected from the computer that you'll have to find. Like, oh, I took the power cable of the computer to use on the system upstairs. And it's not here, so I have to like get one. And the only one you can get is like locked in a cable box that happens to be locked for no reason, and you have to figure out how to unlock the box. Or like the cable box is underneath a bunch of heavy stuff that you can't move, so you have to figure out a way to topple it or move it. Programmable robot buddy that does things for you. Yeah, exactly. Well, we actually have a hamster. Maybe we can figure out a way to program the hamster to solve puzzles. Like, you have to throw different kinds of things. Like, there's something that a hamster will always run towards, and there's something a hamster will always turn left when it sees it. And then you have to throw those into the right spot in the maze for it to navigate the maze. That sounds horrible. I don't know if I want to do that. The modem doesn't work at first because the cat is sleeping on it and it's overheated. The same cat too. It's the same cat as from the first game. It's just, you have to do the opposite. You have to wake it up with like whatever the opposite of catnip is. You have to put food in its bowl so that it bothers to get up and move. Why is its bowl in the basement? Nobody knows. That's not important right now. Actually, no, you have to find a makeshift bowl, put that on the ground, and you have to find the vault's supply of cat food. Yeah. That actually could be a totally viable thing. The cat's not interested in anything. You can just open any can, not even cat. Yeah, that's true. The cat will like just be interested and lift its head up if you open a can, but it will only come to you if it can smell cat food specifically. Yeah, there's a lot of work in this already, like looking at this. So far we have like basically all of this could take place in one room, right? So I think that's good. I have to find a laser point. Oh, laser point is another cool idea actually for dealing with the cat. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll have a cat this time. We had a cat in the previous game. It'd be cool to have a cat in this one. We've already got a hamster, so you know, we're doing good already. The hamster maze puzzle is actually like almost a fun idea that I could implement. I think I might write down the rules for the hamster maze. Hamster will always run toward item, well, not P items, item when visible from any tile. Hamster will always turn left when facing adjacent tile with item 2. Solve maze by placing items to lure the hamster through the maze. Hamster will pick up any item with item 3, any object, I'll say, on it. Hamster must retrieve, I don't know how to spell retrieve. data splicing cable that fell into the maze when the door shut. Okay, there we go. We got a puzzle. NASCAR hamster only turns left. Dale Earn Hamster? I don't know who Dale Earn Hamster is, but yeah. Robot hamster with freaking lasers. Yeah, the hamster could have a harness mounted laser pointer for for evading cats. Yeah, okay, so like obviously we need to get into that situation. So that you have to rescue the hamster before you can do this. The hamster has to be trapped somewhere as well. So let's just put rescue hamster up here. Rescue hamster. We can expand this out later on as well. Ugh. There we go. Dale Earnhardt is an American NASCAR driver that died tragically and is tattooed on the butts of many Alabama residents. Wow. That's a, what a legacy. I don't know how to feel about that. Thank you for the information. Okay, so Get Mole Blade is another thing we need to expand out into something interesting. And all of this will need to contract down to a single point, which is obviously get trapped in basement in cutscene. And somehow all this tracks through to finally exiting the basement. I guess I'll use the word vault not to confuse anything. Vault. So comparing this complexity to this complexity, there's some significant branching going on here, but I don't think it's like it's not as severe as the branching that happens in this already. So we're already making something far more complicated that's going to take a lot more to solve. It's going to be interesting to see if we can, like, if it feels right when the player's playing it too. But yeah, this is already going to be a bigger game at this rate, which isn't necessarily a problem, because if I keep it locked to like 5 screens or so, in terms of asset production, like creating 5 screens, I think that's how many. Do we have 5 or 6 scenes? I can't remember how many scenes we had in Sandwich Game. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 6 scenes. So if we do like 6 scenes, production wise, like it's about the same. But we have just more things to interact with in each scene, that's a good thing actually. Because like I said, the forest felt very empty. The chicken coop also felt kind of empty, but it had, you spent time there. There was a cat. It wasn't quiet. There was like chickens clucking and cat purring and stuff. So, you know, it has like a few things going on. This is going to be a much more complex game. It may take more time to play it too, in that regard. Are we scared into the basement from a ballistic missile warning? No, it's a complete accident to be trapped in the basement. The vault, the idea of getting trapped in the vault is literally like, guy's preparing to go on an adventure in the morning. Maybe he ate a nice and easy to make bacon sandwich. Now he must gather something from the secret lab basement bunker, where he keeps journals, computers, tools, and tools for adventuring. But through a series of hilarious and unexpected events caused by a pet hamster, ends up locked in the bunker. So now what? Guy has to solve a series of fun and entertaining puzzles to open the vault door. Unfortunately, the hamster who triggered the series of events is also trapped and must be freed so that it can help recover an unreachable item by human hands. So that's what the data cable is. We've now identified that part of the puzzle too. To be able to progress, there will be the need to tap into a wire in the wall that will allow the player to jack in and hack the door, ultimately opening it. But before this can be done, we need to solve basically the entire game up to this point. To find the right place to cut the wall, the player will need to reconstruct a metal detector and use it on the wall to find the wire. Once jacked in, the player will need to solve a dumb logic puzzle on the computer to crack the lock. So yeah, that's the outline for the story, and we're just using that to guide the design of the puzzle and the puzzle mechanics. And we've already got some interesting stuff here. We've got a book that you pick up that lists the hertz and frequencies of wires in the wall. When, like, this will be like the instruction manual for the metal detector, right? And once we detect the wire in the wall using that frequency, we can then cut the wall in the right spot using the mower blade. And then, I mean, we may change this from mower blade to something else, but mower blade sounds fun and silly to me, so connect the computer with the cable to exposed wire in the wall and gain access to the computer terminal. We need to figure that part out. Get special data splicing cable using the hamster maze puzzle, that'll be fun. Solve a logic puzzle on the computer. We need to design the logic puzzle, obviously, and then the door will open. We can exit the vault. So when you click the exit the vault, that's when the cutscene plays out for the end of the game. Hey, Mr. V Stream, good to see you. Jack in sounds very Mega Man Battle Network. Yeah, it's very cyberpunk. Could secret entrance be behind the arcade machine in the basement? Well, it's a different world. Like, not a different world. It's a different venue. It doesn't take place in the same house. But that would be definitely a thing. Definitely would be a thing. If I could do that. So yeah, maybe a nod to the original Maniac Mansion's brain-sucking device or something in the old lab junk. Yeah, I think that I'll try and throw some Maniac Mansion references into it for sure. Get through the whole cable puzzle and then the character finds the Wi-Fi switch. I love the idea that you do all this work and then it turns out like there's an easy way to solve this. I like that idea, but I've also like kind of hinged everything on like cutting a hole in the wall so that you can connect the cable. So yeah, maybe we can come up with that for something else. Maybe like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe instead of a power cable missing to gain access to the computer terminal, you have to use a box of lemons and construct a mega lemon battery. To power the computer. That's a cool idea. I like that. Like, oh no, we don't have a power cable, but I can construct a lemon battery out of all these lemons that I happen to have. The plans for my super lemon battery. Yeah, exactly. And then when you can use plans on box of lemons, and then fades to black, fades in, and the lemon battery is like taking up half the screen. When life gives you lemons, you make hand grenades. You burn life's fire down and ask to talk to his manager. Indeed. Yeah, Cave Johnson. Cave Johnson dialogue was great. I really enjoyed Cave Johnson. Am I out of coffee? I am. I do have other fluids with me though. Dihydrogen monoxide, I think it's called. That stuff will kill you. Yeah, in the wrong dose. Yeah, it can prevent you from breathing even. So it's pretty dangerous stuff. Zero is deadly. Okay, so we need to find these parts for the, what's this thing called again? Metal detector. We need to find metal detector parts and connect those up there. We need to find the book. That could just be as simple as it's on a bookshelf, right? Man, I really like puzzle dependency graphs. There's a really good way to not just figure out how the puzzles fit together, but also come up with like story elements as well, right? Because like now that we know we need to have a manual for the metal detector, that introduces the need for a place to store that, and then it's like, okay, now we've got some more world building that we can do inside the world. Like, oh, this is where I keep the manuals, on this bookshelf. You know, it's an interesting looking bookshelf. It has some other stuff on there that you could look at. Maybe that introduces another place to put puzzle elements as well. So, like, you know, notebook on like hamster tests, and that's how you figure out like what stuff makes the hamster behave what way. Is the bookshelf a secret door? It could be. It could be. Like, right now we don't need a secret door, but as soon as we write a bit up that says we need a secret door, that could be the bookshelf. Metal detector only detects when people nearby are listening to metal. Have you played Strong Bad's cool game? No, wait, what is it again? Cool game for attractive people? Because it has a metal detector that plays metal. When, as you get closer to the source of the detecting, it like gets more metal. What if the secret door was next to an ordinary bookshelf? Yeah, that could work. You could have some of the books from Governor Marley's bookshelf in secret on there. That's true, yeah. Really good opportunity for references. We obviously need to have, what is it? Not War and Peace. It's not War and Peace, is it? Crime and Punishment, I think is the name of the book. Yeah, I think it's Crime and Punishment in Laura Bow 2. The Secret of, The Dagger of Amon-Ra. There's a book, Crime and Punishment. That's a pixel hunt. You have to find it, and it's like one little book on a shelf. It's like probably 3 or 4 pixels tall and 1 pixel wide. You have to find it and click on it, and there's like tons and tons of titles. Crime and Punishment is like the one book you need to find. It's just a pixel hunt. It's horrible. I hated it. Exactly, Crom. You called it. So the manual for the metal detector, that won't be a pixel hunt. You'll just like, if you left click on the shelf, it will just grab the right book. If you right click on a book, it will tell you about the book. So the pixel hunting will just be for fun. It's right clicking on it. If you left click on it, it'll just grab the next item that you need from the bookshelf. You won't ever have to like look for it. And if you click on a spot that's not a book, it'll say like, oh, there's a ton of books there. I can see blah, 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 which I need. Could do a book on cleaning and call it Grime and Punishment. You could. Yeah. Grime and Punishment is like a parenting book about how to make your children do the right thing by punishing them by making them clean up grime. I don't know. I think I took that too far. Why is this a vault? What's its history? And it's wait, what's its history? Is this an old jeweler's home, an old bank, or a crazy scientist cottage? I'm going for, okay, unofficial lore of this area would be like one of the kids from Maniac Mansion liked the idea of the secret lab and like made their own, and this is like a descendant of that person is here. That's kind of like where maybe Bernard, because Bernard's in Day of the Tentacle and in that game, and Bernard's also nerdy enough that he might just do that. Maybe this is like a Bernard descendant or child. Like where the previous like Delphine is kind of like inspired by all of the characters. Maybe this character's a bit more inspired by Bernard, because Bernard didn't really get much. Bernard really didn't get much from his part in Delphine's character in the end. Because I was gonna try and do the pocket protector or something. I tried to do a single hair on the top of the head that would like bob up and down, but it gets lost in all the noise anyway. So yeah. Anyway, gain access to the terminal. We got to figure out that. Find the manual for the metal detector on the bookshelf. Probably is like, you know, that's probably actually like a really easy thing to do. There's no prerequisites for this. This thing is something you could do at the start of the game, but you won't be able to do anything with the metal detector until you can detect the right frequency. And there's going to be a lot of blockers on this side. And you won't be able to cut the wall until you get the mower blade, and you won't be able to do that until you do a bunch of other tasks as well. Hacking or a post-it note? Yeah. I did have the idea that the hamster would have to recover a post-it note or something like that with a password on it, but we've kind of made it do the data cable thing, and I think that's more interesting. So there's definitely password or literal access, like maybe it's physically locked behind a door. Anything like that would work. Powering the computer, like obviously powering the computer is a thing that we mentioned but never actually put down here. So like we need to power on the computer is like a thing. Power on the computer. And I like we did say like lemon battery, right? With lemon battery. Build lemon battery by using plans on box of lemons. I don't know if I'm going to finish the puzzle dependency graph today. I'm running out of time. It's nearly 6 o'clock. I did spend a lot of time waffling and not doing actual work, so I guess I'll allow it. But yeah, we could definitely improve. We got a lot of work to do. I wanted to finish this today, the puzzle dependency graph today, so we could start working on assets next time I stream. But it might not happen. I got to end the stream really soon, actually. But yeah, this is like looking way more complex. There's like a lot more branching, which is good. I do want this game to have more going on in it. It does mean the game will be longer, right? Because like there's more things to solve. What I'm worried about is seeing all these branches is if anything is confusing, like what you need to do next, that's going to be a problem. I want it to be pretty clear what you need to do next. This might be a point where I introduce like a journal that the player keeps with them. That you use to track like tasks, and maybe we'll be kind and have like the tasks automatically prerequisite list themselves. I would like this to line up perfectly, please. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we're not done with this, and I'm gonna have to stop streaming in a minute. But there's like, okay, put the metal detector parts together. Getting each of the metal detector parts has a puzzle of its own, right? So we have get coils for metal detector, and we have get handle for metal detector. And these might not be obvious like exact parts, like because we're kind of like building it. We're trying to reconstruct it, but like maybe it's like things are broken, so we have to fix things, right? Like get sensor. I'm just gonna call it sensor module. I don't have to be accurate representation of a real thing for metal detector. So these will each blow out into their own puzzles as well. Like this might actually be repurposing something. This we'll be repurposing probably like a broom or a mop handle. And this, I don't know, maybe take coils out of a microwave. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully that makes some sense. Task, enter nuclear launch codes. Yeah. Red herring joke, you find a stud detector, but it responds to everything. It's responding to the player. That's pretty meta. I like it. It's got a bit of fourth wallness to it as well. That's an interesting idea. I don't like the idea of red herrings in general, but like, I guess sometimes like it could be funny. Like, I think if the red herring is like a throwaway joke, it works. So that's like, that probably does fit. Okay, so let's see. How many nodes do we have in this compared to our first game already? And these ones are each going to blow out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't remember if I counted these two. 15, 16, 17, 18, 18 or so. Whereas this one had, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, about 28 or so. These will blow out. This will blow out, and this will blow out. I mean, we're mentioning plans and box of lemons, so we have to, like, you know, find the plans. Maybe those are like stuck somewhere and we have to like, or like maybe we have to print them out, but we can't print them out until something. Like there's going to be a reason why this is not easy to do, right? Like nothing should be easy except for like only a handful of things should actually be easy, right? Find the manual for the metal detector should be on a bookshelf, but like that's probably one of the only things that will be easy, I think. Rescuing the hamsters, like probably multiple things that you have to do to solve that. I imagine if I just put some random boxes up here just to like have a few things. For now, we'll just like, I want these to be more I want rescuing the hamster to be more complex, right? We can fill that out later. This is good, like, it's a good way to come up with like story elements as well, because now we don't have like a direct solution to this problem. It's like, oh, you've got to figure out how to do that. Yeah, each of these is going to blow out, obviously. This will also continue. So like in terms of like, if we just take each of these and say there's like at least going to be 3 to 5 more tasks for each of them. How many do we have? So these are like the orphaned nodes so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 3, sort of like somewhere around there, you know, 24 or so more tasks. Just with those elements alone, they will generate almost as much as the entire game did. So this game is going to be like way more complex if we do that. I may need to simplify this down. But I'm not afraid of like having this game be bigger, because like it took me 2 weeks to do the first one. Thank you very much for the follow. So yeah, doing things like in a more interesting way for this one. I'm definitely going to still try and keep the number of art scenes that I need to produce for this game low. Like ideally like 3 or 4 rooms total, and then like the computer screen and the hamster maze. So like that brings it to 5, 6 maybe, 5 or 6 scenes, which is about the amount of scenes that I've had to produce for the first game, but I want to do them more highly polished, like I said. and spend a little bit more time on like visuals. Oh, I think I missed this guy. I think I missed the mower blade. So yeah, we're definitely talking like just with the stuff that's hanging off and not actually attached to the start of the game. There's more work to be done there. Yeah, this is gonna generate like there's a lot of steps, which means the game will take longer to play. And there'll be a lot of roadblocks that the player will be like, oh, I guess I can't do that just yet. Which is like what I wanted to do with the first one. That's why you like, you know, the door handle breaks when you try and leave. It's like, oh, I can't leave. And I have to go to the basement and get something. And it's like, you just have to go to the basement and fetch something. It's like literally not that much of a puzzle. But it's something that stops you from progressing. And it just makes the game like feel like, oh, yeah, okay, we got another thing to solve here. I could have easily made that like, you know, you need to combine multiple items in your inventory before you can open the door, but I didn't want to like make it that complex. This one I do want a little bit more complexity because like, and it will lengthen the game, right? Like the more steps to solving the game, the more time it takes to figure them out, and yeah, it'll be a bit bigger of a game. You gotta rescue the hamster so you can microwave it to explode the microwave and salvage the coil. Perfect. You salvage the magnetron or high voltage transformer from the microwave. Yeah, so like maybe I'll change it to is like, you know, something like that. But right now, it's just like whatever. Yeah, I think once we've got this in, we could put in some other elements that are interactive that are like red herring or like joke elements that don't contribute to the solution, which I avoided in the last game. I don't think you can pick up a single thing in the last game that's not contributing to the solution in some way. Apart from I guess the eggs, the rotten eggs are technically a red herring, but they're not, because like you use them and it spurs you to go to the chicken coop. So when they're rotten eggs that are rotten, you smell that they're rotten and you go, oh, I guess I need to get fresh eggs. So it's like just part of the chain. We got some good ideas here. Like we've got a puzzle design for like a hamster maze. We've got a frequency detection puzzle that we can do with like looking at the wall, and you can just move the thing around and it'll show like different things on there, and like it'll bleep when you hover over like once you set the metal detector to the right frequency detection setting, you can then detect it. And then once you've successfully detected the part of the wall, you can then, like next time you use the lawnmower blade on the wall, it'll just automatically cut it. You don't have to like actually do a surgical precise cut or anything. And then you can just use the data cable on the wall to gain access to the data, and that will automatically connect it to the computer. You don't have to like puzzle both ends of the cable. It'll just be like, oh, use that on the wall or use it on the computer. It'll like, he'll just connect it automatically. Yeah. Powering the computer is a bit of an interesting puzzle. I think that could be broken out a little bit more to be more interesting too. When you finally open the door, that's when the final cutscene will play out, and this character will end up standing on the hill next to Delphine and connect the two worlds. I just wanted these to connect without being on top like that, because it's a little confusing. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a bigger puzzle graph than the other one, which is good. That's what I wanted. I wanted to go for something bigger. This is like probably going to be like twice as big of a game, easily, which means it's like a 20 to 40 minute game if each element takes about the same amount of time as the first game did. So, you know, a little bit bigger. Salvage the magnetron. Oh wait, lights on off. What does that mean? Oh, you mean what do you mean? Do you mean a puzzle? Like a mechanical, like a puzzle mechanic? Like the logic puzzle could be lights out. Oops. How do you resize an element? Dark rooms where you had a pixel hunt for a light switch. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't want to do that kind of thing too much. Like that, but less annoying. Oh, I get you. How come I can't resize this after creating it? That's weird. What I was thinking of was like one of those logic puzzles where you have like a grid of 9 by 9. I mean 3 by 3, sorry. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So you'd have like one of these things, but like maybe it would be like, oh, how do I do this? So like when you click here, this will change red and all the adjacent ones would change to the purple color. And the goal is to make it entirely red or something like that, right? So is there like a mouse cursor icon I can use here? I don't know if they've got one. They've got stickers, I think, but... I guess I'll use this. You know, one of those kind of puzzles. Wrong color. I think it's connected to the hand. I think that's what I did. There you go. Musopo, good to see you. What's this day one of? Day one of designing an adventure game. So at the start of this year, I did this little game, which is a little adventure game about making a sandwich. But first, before you can make a sandwich, you need to fix the stove because the stove is broken. How exciting. My name is just Possum. Oh, it's Opossum. I get it. It's backwards though. I get ya. Thank you very much, Possum. You love the style of it. Thank you. Yeah, I did this at the start of the year as a way to kick off the year of game dev, and it went quite good. I need to turn the stove on first. It was actually quite successful, so I was really happy with that. Oh no, the stove is broken. I need to get a gas hose from the barbecue, and you go to the backyard. I'm not leaving without a coffee, so like, you know, adventure game protagonists need to be looked after as well. So you got to make a coffee. And don't worry, I won't spoil the whole game in case you want to try it out. It's free on itch. But yeah, the entire process was streamed as well, so you can take a look. It reminds you of Pajama Sam and Freddy Fish. Perfect. That's great. I did base the design on Day of the Tentacle, was like my inspiration mostly. But yeah, Delphine likes a coffee with steamed milk. So now Delphine's happy. We can leave to get that hose. But oh no, the door handle broke off. We can't get out. And then you have to go into the basement and get something from the basement. Spoiler, there is a sandwich. That's true, there is a sandwich. I won't play any further, but yeah. There's some references in here that you might notice some references around. This box is particularly interesting to look at, I think. Anyway, yes, if you want to play this, you can go to this page. Love this so much. I'm glad you found your stream. I'm glad you found it too. Welcome in, Possum. Thank you very much for joining us. Precision jumping puzzles. If I was making a Mad Dog Williams 2, I would put precision jumping puzzles for sure. Thanks, Pi, for sharing the link as well. So yeah, we're working through our design for this game, just getting the basics designed out, and then we're going to go ahead and actually make it work. So I just put solve logic puzzle on computer, and I just put this in. So I guess I'll just draw that in. Let's make this color like a beige. There you go. So that's the solution to the logic puzzle to unlock the door at the end of the game. It's a really easy puzzle to do. Is there a way? Can I say like group these? Wrap in new section. Cool. Can I name the section? Logic puzzle on computer. There we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Can I move the section? There you go. So I'm just going to draw a line that points, like, I guess to this side. And then... Actually, no, I don't want that. I'm still learning how to use Figma. Draw a line that goes from unlocked. That didn't work. Control Z. And we can delete this line. There we go. Cool. So now we have the flow of like the logic puzzle. I guess I can make this connect to that. There we go. Nice. So we're working on our puzzle dependency graph. This is the puzzle dependency graph for the first game. I can actually put that in a section, can't I? How do I make it a section? It just has this. Section? Go away. Don't tell me what to do. Game 1 puzzle dependency graph. Can I move that in there like that? And then when I move this around, there you go. That's just for reference, and this is the new one. The new one's going to be more complex with more stuff. How long have I been into game dev? Since I was like 10 years old. This was my first full adventure game that I published, though. And so it took me about 2 weeks to make. I had to learn the tools and stuff, of course, along the way, but this one's going to take a bit longer and it'll be a bit more complex, but it should have similar requirements for the art. Probably there'll be a lot more inventory items, but like in terms of backgrounds and like animations and stuff, it should be about the same. Is this or something, Devi, what you do for a living, or is it a hobby? My career has been in software and software engineering mostly, some management and project management, design and consulting and stuff like that. But my passion is game design and game development. I chose not to go into the industry because I wanted to have a secure and stable job when I started my family and bought my house and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm like, it's time for me to make a move over. Like I've never stopped working on games. I've always worked on games my whole life. I just haven't gone commercial with it. So trying to move towards commercial now. Sounds a lot like what my career path is looking as well. Oh wow, that's cool. Hey Refraction, good to see you. How's the new game going? It's going okay. Welcome back. I am good, thank you, Ragnar Grimm. How are you? I hope things went okay with that Refraction, the thing you had to run off and do. Sorry I didn't catch your message to say goodbye when you left. But yeah, it was good to talk to you today. I appreciate it. Yeah, so the start of the game is the cutscene for getting trapped in the vault, obviously. And then somehow we need to connect this to all of these empty tags that we've got. I might just move all of the empty tags out in line over here so they make some more sense. These ones obviously unconnected at the moment. We need to work on those. They actually don't have concepts attached to them. It's just like the idea that there will be more things, 3 things to do in order to get the hamster rescue underway. Hopefully that helps just visualize a little bit better where we're at. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tasks, and each of those will spawn probably 3 or 4 more nodes at least each. And then the rest of this I think is fairly well conceived. There might be a few that will need other branches coming into them. Like this one, for example, might need a little bit more because we've got to construct a lemon battery, but we might need other resources to gather for the plans. So that could easily branch out into like 5 or so things as well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your friend's dad. That sucks, dude. That's the worst. I'm glad you were able to go and spend some time and help them out. That's good. What software do you use to make your games? For the adventure games, I've used AGS so far. I've been considering using other tools, but AGS works pretty well. The game that I stopped working on to go on to this game was this one, which is just a custom engine. The thing to focus on here is the tanks, and it's got acid attacks where the fluids flow, and stuff like that. It's got full per pixel simulation, physics sims and stuff. So if I use the debug tool to explode the terrain, you can see things flying off the terrain as things explode. and like the terrain will collapse and stuff. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to play with this tool. I will be doing a cleaned up version of this released on my Discord. I want to come back and work on this game. The reason I stopped working on this game is because it's too big. I need to keep it in. I need to keep the game dev stuff a bit tighter for this year. I just want to tidy it up a bit, you know. And then get it out just on the Discord, and then I'll leave it alone until I have enough time budget to come back to it. The time budget's the main reason why I stopped working on it. Is my Discord public? It is, but it's from my other channel, actually. Let me shout out my other channel, which I'll be on there in like an hour or two from now, doing some gaming. It's, what day is it? Saturday? Saturday's supposed to be XCOM alternating with something else. I did XCOM last week, but I don't remember what the something else was. I don't know, maybe I'll play Cybernetic Ranger tonight. Went ahead and followed. Thank you, I appreciate the follow. If you go into that channel, which I'll just do this here. Discord. I don't have a bot hooked up to this channel yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. Copy message. That's the Discord. If you want to jump on the Discord, we have like a game dev channel on there as well. Yeah. So anyway, like the explosion stuff is really fun in this. I would love to keep working on this. Just like the vision I have for it, it's too big for the time frame that I want a lot to making games this year. I want to like keep the games in a time budget of like 1 to 2 months sort of range, because I would like to finish like 10 games this year, but I think realistic number might be like 4 or 6 sort of range. But still, my goal would be like finishing 10 games this year would be great. I actually have an earlier version of game 2 that is here, which had like the fluid sim and stuff like this in here. Was a little bit more rudimentary, but like more stable than the one that's in the game, the version I was just showing you. Also, it's just like, it's more fun because you get a more continuous stream of acid attack, which is great. But yeah, it had some bugs and stuff like this. Acid shouldn't be at the bottom of the pit when you delete terrain below it. It shouldn't fill up like that. But otherwise, it's like fairly decent. It doesn't have the same physics. The physics is not as powerful as the physics in the other one, the version I was showing. But it's still fun. Yeah. Anyway. I think I'm gonna have to call it a day. So I'll pick up the next dev stream. We'll finish off this puzzle dependency graph, come up with some more concepts for puzzles, and maybe I'll work on this maze a little bit more detailed at some point. But yeah, this has a lot more fun ideas in it. This already has like a lot more advanced ideas than the first game had. First game was very rudimentary. This one's going to be a lot more fun, I think. So that speaks well for it, I think. Got a logic puzzle, which is going to be fun. It's a very basic logic puzzle, but it's fun to have like a logic puzzle in your game once in a while. How are you supposed to store your tank acid for the winter if you fix that bug? That's a good question. Yeah, can't bury it like that. Now that I've followed, I'll be able to join in when the stream starts. Yeah, awesome. I appreciate the follow. Wonderful to meet you, and I'm excited to see what else you do. I'm excited too. I'm really excited for this year. This year is like, my focus is game dev. So the podcast that I do is also focusing on game devs this year as well. So I'm lining up game developers to talk to. I've got somebody from Westwood, the old Westwood, who they worked on games like Command and Conquer and stuff like that. They worked in QA, and we're going to be talking to them. A good friend of the channel as well. So we're going to talk to them hopefully this month. I will get that. Hopefully I can lock in a date for that this month, and that's going to be awesome. Next month, I think I've got another fellow Australian indie dev lined up. We just have to lock in some dates, so it should be good. Tank game is a type of thing you can concentrate on full time. Would be a lot of work. Yeah, I think it's like to get it to the where I want for it, the vision I have for it, it's pretty big, and therefore requires more attention and time. I'm not going to be able to squeeze in that time. Like, I think it's also very open-ended, like what you can do with it. It's very conceptually, it's very open-ended, so it's one of those things that the scope can just easily creep bigger and bigger and bigger, and I do want to avoid that. So that's like, I've gone back to the adventure game thing because for multiple reasons. Like, I got a lot of positive feedback from the first adventure game. I'm excited about creating more stuff in that world. I want to bring more characters into it and some more interesting puzzle design mechanics, which we're doing with this one. So we'll see what, like, some people might not like some of the puzzles in this one, but it should be a bit more interesting to solve. And yeah, and then it like leaves room for, there's like a third one that I want to make adjacent to these two. And then I want to make a big game based on like taking all those characters together onto a big adventure together. So that should be fun as well to think about. But yeah, lots of things to think about over the next couple of hours here on this as well. So I'll go eat some food and spend some time with the family, and then we'll be back for more gaming tonight. I'm actually thinking I might continue my exploration of adventure games. Not adventure games, cinematic platformers, which I was doing earlier. Also, I want to show this off again. Julia Minamata, another developer who you can find streaming game dev, adventure game dev on Twitch, sent these. I back her on Patreon, and she sent these cool cards. So I got a greetings from Crimson. This is Crimson Diamond is her game. If I could hold this in front of the camera and focus on it, probably the best way to do it. So yeah, there's that one. Crimson Ontario is like where it's set. I don't know if Crimson is fictional or not. This is the most recent card. Nice one. And it's got a nice inscription as well. Very, very cool. There's another one there. This is, I think, last year's one. I don't remember which ones are which years, honestly. But yeah, I received this package recently, so I haven't had a chance to send a message to Julia and say thank you actually yet. But each of them are signed as well, which is cool. And this is the last one, there. This might have been last year's actually. Yeah, some really cool looking stuff though. I really like them. I need to get I need to use my phone to do focusing instead of that, but the focusing on the phone is a bit jank. When I try and control the camera focus from it, it doesn't always work very well. It ends up like jittering the zoom. But yeah, anyway, that's all from me for now. I can't push in any more hours, unfortunately. I did want to start sooner, but my day was a bit delayed because I slept in this morning because I had a headache. So we're getting there though. We're getting there. I won't raid anyone today. I'm a bit, yeah, I just want to get moving. So we'll call it a day. I'll be back in a couple of hours on the other channel if you want to go check that out. It'll be great to see you there. I'm going to be doing exploration of cinematic platformers because I do want to make a cinematic platformer this year, even if it's a small one, like with only a few screens. Yeah, that one will be interesting to work on too. I've got some ideas. I think I might do a custom engine for that. At the risk of spending too long on it, I kind of want to try it. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing that exploration. I haven't played a ton of cinematic platformers. I played a good handful of them, but yeah, it'll be fun to play some more and see them. See you around, Stockforwarder, Refraction, thank you. Coburn, good to see ya. Captain Fuel Card, Justinitis. Possum, that's right, Possum, and everybody else who's been hanging out. Pylozan, you freaking legend. Dr. CDCS, again, thank you for the raid. Everybody, if you haven't checked out Dr. CDCS's channel, go do yourself a favor and do that. And also, we got another raid as well at the start of the stream. My mind is flicking between two different names that start with B, and I'm not. Yeah, it was Bolt possibly. It was Bolt possibly. Thank you for the raid at the start of the stream as well. Oh, and I got a shout out 2 hours ago from Hesh Valentine. That's awesome. Thanks for the shout out, Hesh. I just saw that. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. I will see you again soon. Take care. I'll be back shortly, and we'll finish up the design for this game easily tomorrow. I think with all of the puzzle dependency graph, the first draft will be done tomorrow, and we'll start working on some asset production for like the rooms and layouts and stuff. We'll bring Delphine in to be the main character until we have time to create a new one. And I don't know when I'll do the concept work on the new character, but yeah, there's a lot of work to do on this one. This one's a bigger game, and I also want to achieve a higher level of polish, so it'll be fun. So keep an eye out for the streams, for the dev streams, because it's going to be a good one. All right, see ya. I need to mute my microphone.